Welcome into the Ravens Rundown by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. Coming up on today's show, we're talking about Roquan Smith as well as Patrick Queen. But first, we'll talk about the possibility of bringing back Justin Houston. We'll go over all of that in a matter of moments. But first, at some business to attend to here on the channel. We're getting very close to 10,000 subscribers. Just a little over 150 away, 166 to be exact. And you may be wondering, why should I subscribe to the channel? Well, we have daily news and rumors on your Baltimore Ravens. We do live shows from time to time, watch parties as well. The more subscribers we get, the more of that content we can bring you here on the channel. So join the flock and subscribe for free today and help us reach that 10,000 subscriber milestone. Turn on notifications so you never miss a moment. If news breaks, the Ravens make a move, you'll be the first to know about it with instant analysis and reaction here on the channel. Subscribe now for free, youtube.com/RavensTV. Let's start with Justin Houston. Field Yates of ESPN laid out everything that all 32 teams need to do, need to make their number one priority for the offseason before training camp. And in the case of the Baltimore Ravens, Phil Yates says that the Ravens need to bring back Justin Houston, that they need to re-sign him and have him back in the rotation for another go at it, that needs to be the number one thing they accomplish before training camp. Here's more from Phil Yates on why they need to bring back Houston. The Ravens need depth at the edge position, and there isn't a more obvious solution than re-signing Houston, who just keeps making life miserable for opposing quarterbacks. Houston's pass rush acumen is his most dominant trait. And while the Ravens will always be able to scheme up pressure, Houston 34 would add some juice on obvious passing situations. He had 9.5 sacks and 32 pressures last season. The team is also hoping for an improved year from Odafe Owe after he was just okay in 2022. I say run it back with Justin Houston at least one more time. It makes a lot of sense, as Phil Yates mentioned, the depth piece of it, but also when you factor in that Justin Houston is defeating Father Time here. You're not supposed to be able to do what he does at 34 years of age. Why not take advantage of it if you are the Baltimore Ravens? 9.5 sacks is a large number, okay? What if I told you that was the best of anybody on that Ravens roster last year? Sure, he's not going to account for 20-plus sacks like he did years ago in Kansas City, but I'll gladly take 9.5. Not to mention Justin Houston's a great guy, a great teammate, and a guy that can lead these other players on this roster. Sign me up. Why would you not want to have the four-time Pro Bowler back on this team? He shouldn't cost you a whole lot either. To me, it makes total sense to bring back Justin Houston for at least one more go-round. Make it happen. Eric DeCosta, John Harbaugh, if you're listening to this show, pick up the phone and bring Justin Houston back. Do it. We want to see him back in Baltimore. He deserves to be here, and this Ravens team needs him, quite frankly. Chime into the comment section. Seems like an easy answer here. Tell me what you think. Should the Ravens re-sign Justin Houston or not? Why for yes and for no? Tell me in the comment section. What do you think one way or the other? Should the Ravens re-sign Justin Houston or not? Why for yes and for no? Let's continue with the contract discussion with Patrick Queen this time. Much has been made about Patrick Queen's future in Baltimore this offseason after the Ravens declined his fifth-year option, drafted Trenton Simpson from Clemson in the third round, and all sorts of questions now have persisted about Patrick Queen's future. Bleacher Report says that the most important extension candidate, now that Lamar Jackson's been taken care of, is Patrick Queen, that the Ravens need to hold on to him and make him a part of their long-term future. Here's more from Christopher Knox at Bleacher Report. Baltimore needs to get an extension done before the start of the season. While Queen hasn't quite lived up to the first-round status and Baltimore didn't exercise his fifth-year option, he's a quality starter. He logged 117 tackles and 5 sacks last season while allowing an opposing passer rating of only 83.1 in coverage. Another strong campaign will have Queen in demand on the 2024 free agent market, and the Ravens are projected to have just $4 million in cap space next offseason. They have $10.5 million available now and can't afford to work out an agreement with the 23-year-old. And that's the thing. He's just 23 years old. He's still relatively young. This should be a breakout season for Patrick Queen, you would think. It's put up or shut up time for him as far as I'm concerned. And when I look at the Ravens and the decision that they have to make ahead of them, to me, you can't just sit pat and do nothing if you're Baltimore. You either have to extend him or trade him, one or the other, before trading camp and make a decision. We've heard Eric DeCosta say that they feel like Patrick Queen is a Pro Bowl caliber linebacker, even though he's never made a Pro Bowl, and that they want to keep him around long term. But now they got to prove it. Either give him the deal or move on and roll with Trenton Simpson as far as I'm concerned. He'll be a free agent next offseason. He has been dependable, although we haven't seen him be a Pro Bowl player. This is a guy that started every game since 2020 and was an all-rookie team selection back in that rookie season there in 2020. We know that he's super talented. We've seen at times where it feels like that he's been out of place schematically, where the Ravens haven't necessarily been able to maximize all they can out of him. If we can see him in the right positions, working alongside Roquan Smith, and both of them be on the same page. Think about this, too. Patrick Queen played a lot better in the second half of last year when Roquan Smith showed up, and you got to see them work together. That was one of the best things to ever happen to Patrick Queen, was getting him play alongside Roquan Smith. So if he can build upon that, the 117 tackles he had last year, the 9 tackles for loss, and continue to develop alongside Roquan Smith, watch out, Patrick Queen could have a big season. And I personally don't think that you're going to get him any cheaper than you are right now. I think that his numbers at the very least will be similar to what they were last year, and his price tag would go up on the open market next year. So I would go ahead and extend him now while you can and see what you can get out of him. If not, trade him. Don't just sit around and let him play out this contract as far as I'm concerned. What should Baltimore do with Patrick Queen? Type E for extend, type T for trade. One or the other. One way, they got to do something. Tell me what it should be. E for extend, T for trade. Let me know which one it is. One final note before we wrap up here. We mentioned Roquan Smith a moment ago. Well, he is saying that this is going to be something special for the Baltimore Ravens in 2023 as this team is going all in. And we've seen what this franchise has done over the last couple of decades. Faces change, but expectations don't. And within this organization, you hear from Roquan Smith and others, despite being kind of forgotten about by the national media, this team feels like they have championship aspirations, and rightfully so. More from Roquan Smith. I'm just excited to get out there and fly around with the guys because I think we're in for something special. And I think myself, personally, I think it's going to be probably my best year, at least the way I feel physically and mentally. We want all the smoke, honestly. There's a lot of payback that we have out there. We'll get to it, and when we get to it, 1 week at a time. And in particular, he was referencing the Cincinnati Bengals, that still the sting they felt from that playoff loss at Cincinnati and the way they played down the stretch, giving up the division title to Cincinnati the way they did. Look, this team's going to play with a chip on their shoulder. And I know that they've been kind of forgotten about by the national media, not getting the credit that they deserve, but to me, this isn't college football, okay? This is not playing for style points to impress the committee to go to the playoff here, okay? I believe that this Ravens team is going to surprise some people. Doesn't matter what the pundits say and all that. This team is going to be something special. We know the defense is good. The offense got a lot better this season. Play with a little fire of some sorts. Use this to your advantage. I like everything I heard from Roquan Smith as far as that goes. Predict the Ravens' record in 2023. What will it be? How many games will they win? Tell me what the final record will be for Baltimore in 2023 in the comment section below. Follow me on social media, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Tyler Jones Live. Going to be enjoying my weekend off to Nashville as we continue the Summer of Jones this weekend. I'll have updates, and if the Ravens make a move, we'll be on it there as well. See you next time. Have a great weekend. Thanks for joining us here on Ravens Rundown.